Video number 5 on robustness, number 6, and what we're looking at this time is a data validation technique called a presence check, and then we're going to combine that with checking for length when the user has to input some data. So I've got this example program, I'm just going to save it, and what this is doing is just an input form. There's 5 different items of information that the user needs to give to the program, and the program uses a function called getAnswer in order to get the data from the user. So what we need to make sure, first of all, is A, that each answer must be filled out, because at the moment when I run my program, what happens is that I can skip the questions, and this obviously isn't ideal. So I want you to imagine this program is kind of working with a database, some kind of wider context. Ideally, the database is not going to be maintain what's called data integrity if items are left blank. That's a general no-no when kind of creating a computer program. So to put in what's called a presence check, I just need to again use a while loop that is simply just going to say going to initialize text to a blank string, and then I can simply just say while text is blank, I need to input something. In fact, instead of initializing it to a blank string, I'm going to allow them to input, and then whenever they still refuse to give an answer, we need to display an error message. You must answer the question. Okay, so that's that has improved the program. So now if I try and leave an answer blank, I get this error message, answer blank, sorry, and then what happens is as soon as I give an answer, so if your name is Ted, then it allows it to continue to the next question. So the second thing that we want to have a look at is now how can we combine this with a length check. So a lot of the time in kind of web forms you can't exceed a certain amount of characters. So I want you to imagine that we have this requirement of the program that each item of data cannot be longer than 25 characters. So at the moment the program you can answer absolutely anything. I could copy and paste paragraphs and paragraphs of text and it would accept that being the name. So one way that we can kind of make sure this program is more robust is by preventing the user from entering too many characters. So it's a very similar thing. So another way I could have done the presence check is tested the length and said while the length of the text is equal to 0. And it's a similar thing, so I'm going to say while the length of the text is less than 1, and then I'm going to use the OR Boolean operator, or the length of the text is greater than 25, then I'm going to update my error message and make the program say, please answer the question, maximum 25 characters. So now hopefully when we run the program, if I try and, I'm just going to copy and paste what I did before, if I try and answer with too many characters, it spots that, good, and also if I leave it blank, it's still there. So only when the data input now passes this test, so it must be between 1 and 25 characters, is the program allowed to continue. Okay. So this works because this is built into a function. So I've written this program because the reusable bit of code needs to be the fact that the data is input. So I don't have to copy the validation check out again. It works on each of the items of data. So it's the same thing. If I fail to enter the mother's maiden name, I get the error message again. Okay, so what this video was about is a technique of robustness called a presence check, so making sure a string is present before continuing, and then also a length check, so making sure the user hasn't exceeded the maximum amount of characters that the program requires.